Oh, that's so cool!
What?
The spells.
Yes.
Oh.
No, like I say, I don't know if you want to keep those to yourself because they are yes.
Oh.
The magic in Middle Earth that you have been introduced to, like from the get-go, is very, very basic compared to the arcane.
This is like combines all things.
The world of Middle Earth's magic extends extensively into the unbelievable, and Zellie has been given a look at 2 spell lists that should be should help her.
I'm gonna move this. Okay.
Should
I'm gonna
help
move
her.
some things around in my folder.
She'll still only be able to cast up to and equal to her level.
Yes.
Okay.
Print.
Mm.
Yep.
But they are. This is also worth bearing in mind that any like powerful monster creatures that you come or NPCs that you come across will have access to equally powerful spells as well. Obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh ho 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 ho.
Okay. So.
I have to start moving this.
Yes, anybody else can learn blood wares and organ wares and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It'll take a long time to study, Zellie.
Will it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm guessing it'll take me the rest of the day.
It'll take you the rest of the day to actually look over those and go over them and to know which ones and how to use them and things like, do they require concentration, are they permanent, what's the range on them, that kind of thing, and what situations you might need to use those in, which ones do you need to practice, how many times can you cast that, how many points can you carry, does this use, and all that kind of stuff. In other words, forward planning, because you're not dealing with typical kind of magic here.
Yeah.
But they have been picked on reflection of the books that you were carrying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yes, they're 2 pages from one of Elrond's spell books.
Oh, wow. He must know a lot then. Like...
You have no idea.
Like, all the spells. Like, he knows everything.
Yeah.
Like, he has a list of... Even the hidden ones that not many people would know. He, like, knows them all.
There are some considerably well-hidden ones. I do have them all.
I told you, he was like a boss.
I knew he was powerful, but like, I never expected new spells that I never would have known.
Well, this is Elrond. If you were going up against a Dark Rider or Sauron or somebody of that magnitude, yes, there are considerably dangerous and arcanic spells out there. I do have them all. I do have them all printed.
Oh my gosh!
And they do go well past level 10.
Wow! Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Should I start highlighting the ones that are of my level? Because what I've been doing with my normal spell list, I've highlighted the ones I can do.
It's entirely up to you, Zellie. But remember that the ones that you started off with will cap at level 10.
Obvious, yeah.
Yes. Any future ones that you do come across, they're in tiers. They go like level to 10, level to 20, level to 30, level to 40, level to 50, and level to whatever they go up to.
Mind blown.
Okay, so these are 5th tier spell lists.
Woo!
Right.
So I'm going to highlight what I can do at level 1. Yay!
Okay, Lee, you're still sat outside eating your crisps and drinking your lemonade.
Sorry, can you hear that?
Yes.
Sorry. I've got a new mic. I've got to get used to it. Sorry.
It's alright, it's okay.
Yes.
And you're reading about the tunnel, the things that live in the tunnels, all the things that can kill you in the tunnels, including landslides, floods, avalanches.
This book, you also said it had something to do with what I would find for nature growth-wise in the tunnels.
There's various mushrooms and there's various mosses and like
does it give me? Does it tell me what the stuff would be used for?
Some of the mushrooms are fluorescent.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to take this book and I want to go to the chief gardener.
Oh, okay, right, fine. You go find.
I want to ask him if he knows certain
down the path
things that would be good to look at, because it's okay for me to go through the entire book and look at stuff, but I want to know specific things to keep an eye out for.
You're flicking through the book. It highlights things like stuff that you want to keep away from, stuff that is okay, stuff that can be useful, and it mentions it doesn't just stop at plants. It also goes into rock formations, gemstones, and things like that as well.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't need to go and see the gardener then if it does that. I didn't know it did that sort of thing.
No, yeah, basically that's what it outlines. It outlines that there is mosses, there's funguses, there is mushrooms, and there's sponges. And
Yeah, so like say with the moss, does it tell me the moss is good and for what reason?
It goes into detail telling you whether it is a mature moss or if it is a spring moss, like a new moss. And you have to try and get this moss as young as it possibly is. Yes, while it's a young moss, and it's a yellow moss, it's a young moss, what it does is you can pull it, yes, and you can chew on it, and it'll give you 1 day's nutrition.
Right, okay, so the book tells me to that. That's good. That's what I wanted to ask the gardener.
The older the moss gets, the more it turns from yellow into like a brown.
Okay.
It becomes poisonous.
Okay.
Okay, if it's gone past orange, like if it goes from white, like to a lemon, to a yellow, to an orange, to a brown, the darker it gets, the darker it is, the more poison it absorbs from the rocks around it, and it absorbs sulfur.
Okay.
Write that down.
I'm going to.
Okay, so it lives on sulfur, like the salts in sulfur. It can be found underground, and it can be found near underground mud pools and hot springs. While it's yellow, or light yellow, lemony yellow, it can provide one piece of it, one pinch of it can provide, you can chew on it all day, and it provides you with enough nutrition. You'll still feel hungry, but you will feel like vibrant.
Right. So your body wouldn't need anything, but you would still feel hungry.
Your stomach will still feel empty.
Yeah.
But you would still, it will give you enough energy to keep going, kind of thing. Nutrition for 1 day. But the darker the moss becomes, or like the older the moss is, it slowly has a reverse effect. Instead of giving you nutrition, it'll actually take away your nutrition, and it'll poison you with sulfurous.
Okay. Yeah. No
Okay.
Yes. So. I don't know what to do.
There's a small section in the back as well that tells you when mining, not that you're going to plan to do any mining or something like that, it says be careful of naked flames near underground like gas vents.
Yeah. Will the rocks have like some sort of liquidy touch to them, so I know if it's anything that would be flammable? You know, like in reality, like our round, underneath the ground, some rocks would.
Some are very porous and do secrete oil.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goblins have been. It's been witnessed that some goblins actually collect the oil from the underground porous rocks and use it to turn it into tar and use it to like waterproof and as a building material. What they do is they take the oil, they leave it for a day or two until it becomes very jellified, and then they put in sawdust and they put in straw, and they can turn it into bricks.
Okay. I've changed my mind. I do want to go and see the chief gardener.
Okay.
Well, I've asked you before, Kate, but in this book, does it say anything about mixing two herbs or any plant material or anything together to make like a potion or a pick-me-up, you know, something good like that?
A pick-me-up.
Yeah, so anything like that in the book. If not, I want to go and ask the chief gardener, if he knows of anything like that would mix together to make good or bad, maybe explosive,
you can go and ask the gardener.
Okay, I would do that then.
Okay, you can go and ask the gardener. You go wandering off and ask the gardener. After still looking at your book, you flick through the pages and you pass Legolas and Gimli again.
Yeah.
Gimli has now he's put his axe down and he's picking up apples and he's throwing them up into the air, and Legolas is shooting them.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, like what I said about before. Yeah.
Okay. Zellie.
Yes.
They get to have all the fun, don't they?
You are studying and going through this list. What
in
are
his room?
You're still sat in his room.
Okay.
He's asking you, what are your thoughts on these spells?
Pretty cool. It like one of them seems like a combination of a few of the general lists, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, he says that yes, a student of magic has a great opportunity to explore beyond the ability or beyond the reasoning of what their teachers teach them.
I mean, this spell list with it's astrologer base.
Yeah.
Is that like a
profession?
Like a special profession that's not on the basic professions? That's
exactly right.
It's like a specialization into.
It's like jobs and classes.
Yeah. So would I assume that like astrology is a specification of like my kind of class, as it were?
You have the base classes. You have the base classes, which all adventurers and everybody starts off life knowing or belonging to. And then, depending on what you do with your life, when you attain a certain amount of experience, then an opportunity may arise where you can pursue a multitude of new professions.
Did I get the astrologer base because I had astrology books with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the spell lists were chosen because they were the books that you were carrying.
Because I brought with me astrology books and elf history, and then I got the animist books. Did I get more astrology books? I've forgotten. I don't know.
No, that goes on the basis of not just for spellcasters, but everybody, explorers everywhere, adventurers everywhere, rangers, fighters. When they have developed quantity of experience, they have the opportunity to specialize in new professions. Yes.
So this is just giving me an idea of a specialization I could go into because of what I.
Yeah, the potential. Some people see the beginning, and in the same sense see the end. Where they start, where they finish is where they started. And Elrond is trying to make you understand that this. What you are doing now, what you're taking on, is not the end of it.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to develop into something beyond what you thought you could do. And I'm explaining that from a games master point of view as well, because you have just seen one book, and that is the starter one, and I have now just shown you the potential up to level 50.
Wow. Okay.
And it goes higher than that.
Wow, that was just mind-boggling. Yeah.
But all the professions as well. There is an astrologer.
Yeah.
But if you notice, all the spells in the initial book only go to 10.
Yeah, they're the really basic ones.
That's right. So you're either the base class from 1 to 10. After that, you have the potential to expand into, and there is loads. If I give you a list of professions, if you want to go and research it, you will be mesmerized about what kind of things go on in Middle-earth.
It just starts to become super complicated very fast. I get it.
Not super complicated, but it's like, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
A honeycomb of ideas just everywhere.
Of opportunity, yes. And astrology just happens to be one of them.
Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm excited.
So you're expected to know them two spell lists, as well as your basic ones, obviously, your founding ones, called the starter ones, and develop those ones up to level 10. So anybody considering up to level 10 is considered low level.
Yeah, I think these two spell lists just made my choosing of the basic spell list a teeny bit easier.
Just a teeny bit.
Because there's one or two spell lists that I kind of think, oh, they share the same spells, I don't really need them anymore.
Spell lists become combined and mixed up when you get up into job status.
Yeah, so that helped.
Yeah, that's right. But it's not just for spellcasters also, but warriors have the ability to branch out as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and the list of what a non-spellcaster can do.
Oh, I guess I gotta write down on my spell lists now, because you know how I just have bone and direct channeling.
Yes, you do.
Now I can write that down. I can
have these two additional ones as well.
Two additional ones.
You don't need a chance to learn the basic ones. You still have a chance to learn. You know, when you go up a level.
Yeah.
And it's not amazing, but these ones, because they were handed to you, and you're going to do this study session with Elrond. You don't need to do the chance to roll, you automatically gain them.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for the remainder of the afternoon, Zellie, you are to learn these spell lists.
So I'm guessing the astrologer-based spell list I put to 1, level 1, like chance 1, and the other one, what was the other one? The open channeling one.
Yes. That's why on your spell list, on your character sheet, it says level, because some spell lists only go to level 10, some spell lists only go to level 20, and some spell lists go up to level 50. Some spell lists go even higher. That's why there's a level number on these spell lists. Because everybody says, well, why there's a spell level? I mean, like level, or because if it's equal to my level, because some spell lists only go so far.
Now that makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Now it's up to you if you discuss it with Theo about what spell lists, what you're capable of casting now, or practice casting, or you can use them as a guinea pig or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just studying that.
Yes, you need to study that. You need to know what situations you can cast them in, and how long they cast for, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Lee, you are out at the gardener now.
Yes, is the chief gardener around? Do I see him?
Chief gardener now has is continuing his pesticizing.
Oh God. Okay, I walk up to him as far up as he is.
He's got his bucket and he's got his little ladle kind of thing, and he's tipping this black liquid around the base of the trees where he sees the green caterpillars.
Yeah. As soon as I get to him, I want to just stop him very quickly and ask him. Mm-hmm. So I say, I'm sorry to disturb your work.
Again.
Yeah, again. I don't know if you're aware that me and my companion will be travelling north over the mountains, or through the mountains. I've been given this book to research on, and I've read through a bit. I've skimmed through a lot of it, let's say.
Yeah.
I can understand it tells me like there's good items like the herbs and the mosses and all that. But like, let's take this yellow moss here for example. It tells me it's good when it's light yellow.
Yeah.
And as soon as it starts fading or going to a different colour, it becomes very poisonous almost.
It grows old. Yes.
But what it doesn't tell me if I mix it with anything, if it lasts longer or it gives me better, pick me up. So I'm gonna ask you if you know anything like that. If you know of any herbs or any plant material up there that I can mix two items together to make myself a good kick.
Very little grows on the mountain.
So there's nothing on top, but
there's no trees, there's no bushes, there's no grass, because everything's under snow and rock and ice.
And you don't think there's anything up there? Any memory of anything up there, or any memory of anyone mentioning a plant that might grow on top? Or even travelling up to the mountains, is there anything I should be looking for?
There might be some alpine flowers on the way up there.
Will they have a benefit for anything, or?
The alpine flowers?
Yes.
He says there's an incredibly rare one.
Okay.
It's a white flower. It's got 5 petals, and it's got a red dot in the middle, like a blood dot in the middle. He says if you pick approximately 100 of these flowers, rub the petals and the centre of the flower together, like the red dot, yes? Mm-hmm. Drop it into a pestle and mortar, crush them, and turn them into a paste. It creates a deadly poison called Arcana.
Okay. And would I be able to use that poison to, let's say, put on the end of a sword or on an arrow?
Yes.
And how long would that poison take? I mean, 100 flowers, that's quite a lot. So I'm guessing they don't grow quite
They don't
close
grow
together.
In massive, no, they don't. They grow in small groves of 2 or 3.
Yeah. So I'd be very lucky to get any of that. But
you need 100 of them to be able to make a single dose of Arcana. A single dose of Arcana, when mashed down into a paste, can be rubbed across the blade of a sword, or a dagger, or on an arrow tip, or whatever, that kind of thing. But it's a deadly poison, it's a nerve poison, and it kills on contact anything, non-magical.
And is there anything you may?
It only stays on the blade. If you're on the blade, if you're using it on a blade, on a sword or something like that, and you've rubbed it up and down the sword, and you're stabbing away at people or things or whatever it is, it's only good for about 4 or 5 stabs. After that, it's pretty much useless. It's come off.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but it is an alpine flower. It's a 5-leaf petal flower with a red dot in the center. You need 100 of them at least to create a single dose, and you crush them between rocks, or crush them into a paste. Rub it up and down the blade, or on a arrow or something like that. Whatever it hits or is struck, if you cut the skin, it will kill them instantly through a nerve toxin.
Okay, thank you very much. And do you think there's anything you might know of have you read anything in any of the other books that might be of value to know of that's not in this book? This is the only book I know that so far is in Western that I can actually understand, and a lot of your libraries in Elvish.
He says he recalls some people coming back with with the mushrooms that grow up there. They're called Zer mushrooms. It's more like a fungus, and it's a fungus that grows out of gemstones.
Zer, how's that spelled?
Z-U-R.
Z-U-R, okay.
Oh, I have it on my list.
Yeah, I just tried to find it there.
Yeah, and it's a mushroom. It basically grows between rock layers.
Okay.
Yes, it's found in damp conditions. It must be found in damp, normal climate kind of conditions. Is if you break it off and you brew it, it will give the person who drinks it enhanced smell and enhanced hearing for about an hour or so.
Okay, that's good to know.
But other than that, not much else grows in that kind of hostile environment.
Do you know, is there any plants or anything that may be good for heat sources?
Heat sources?
Yes. If we're travelling through there, it's going to be very cold. I'm wondering if there's anything you might know that will help.
Well, there's not many trees grow up there.
Yep. So, I mean, starting firewood...
Some trees do grow, by all means. Some trees do grow, but they're very few and far between. So you will find wood, yes.
Okay.
One thing you might want to consider taking, an axe.
Good point.
Lumberjack.
The list. Axe.
One axe, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I will let you get back to your work.
Watch out for them eagles as well.
Eagles? Are they big eagles?
The eagles in the Misty Mountains?
My book doesn't say anything about eagles.
It doesn't say anything about eagles?
No, at the moment. I haven't got that far.
Oh, okay.
At least I don't think it does anyway. Are they giant eagles?
Yes.
Are they friendly?
They tend to leave passers-by alone, you know what I mean? That you just got to be a bit wary.
Are they territorial? Is that what you're trying to tell?
No, they're not territorial, but they just be aware that they are around. They will just leave you alone, but don't go provoking them.
No, that's fine. I mean, now you've said it, I'm quite interested to go and see what they look like and up close personal.
Well, he remembers Thorondor.
Okay.
And Thorondor was the first king of the eagles. Now, he had a wingspan of 180 feet.
A king of eagles? What, did they actually speak?
Yes, eagles do talk.
What language do they talk?
They speak in Elven. They don't speak Orcish, and they speak in Westron, but they also speak in their own language, which is all the squawks. But yes, they do communicate in Westron. They have, although they're not as proficient as what we are now.
Yeah.
Because they don't have much contact or communication with people from the lower lands.
So what is it they survive on then? If they live up in the mountains and nothing really grows?
Goat.
So there's other animals up in the mountains, are there?
Oh yes. There's mammoths and there's mountain goat and there is
the mammoths. I understand in the book here it said something about there being a tribe of humans.
Yeah, the Ulmi.
That's him.
Yes, the Ulmi. They're a nomadic Eskimo tribe.
Any advice on them? I mean, are they hostile to anyone or? I mean, I don't be walking up them. I don't want to just go hey and then get shot.
No. You're more prone to falling into their snares and traps.
Okay, but they're not going to kill me though if I'm not.
No. But what they do is they tend to everything from rabbits all the way through to wargs and things like that. They leave snares and traps. So if you do fall into one of them, or mammoth trap, nobody's going to find you for days, and when they do find you, you're pretty much dead. So,
okay, I wish I didn't get my dagger away now.
Oh, did you put the dagger on there?
Yeah. Okay. Do you know if those people would be willing to trade and help us out while we're in that area?
I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm sure they will trade because what they do is they trade in food and especially in meats and in furs and in oils.
In oils.
Yes, because they need oils to be able to keep campfires and stoves burning.
Okay.
And lamps.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going into the mountains and you're in a 3-foot snowdrift and it's blowing a blizzard and it's complete whiteout, the only thing you're going to be able to see with is whatever you're carrying, which will be a lamp.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Cool. I will leave you to your work and I will go back and study.
The Umli, yes, they are a nomadic. What they are is they're a cross between humans and dwarves. Yes.
Okay, that sounds
And
interesting.
they're sometimes referred to as the half-dwarf.
I suppose I actually better ask what language they speak then.
They speak Dwarfish.
Okay. God, for that.
Yes, straight dwarfish. They do speak a bit of Westron as well, but they've only picked that up from people that have been like travellers across the Misty Mountains. Because they are tribal, they live in settlements and they migrate from the east to the west across the Misty Mountains, and they navigate as north and as south. They're very shy. Okay, they just want to be left alone. If you can think of things, somewhat like Grizzly Adams kind of thing. They just want to be left alone. They live in log cabins or ice houses.
Okay.
Igloo.
Yes, thank you.
Igloo.
Now,
yes, they live loose and things like that.
Do they have any quarrel with the eagles?
No, they leave them alone.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't want to be
the only people that have quarrels with anybody is the orcs and the goblins.
Yes. No,
the orcs and the goblins use the tunnels to surprise attack the Ulmi, or they surprise attack villages, or well, not villages, but settlements.
Yeah.
Outposts.
Yeah, the book I've got here, it states that you can go into a tunnel one place and then pop out from another area.
Yes, the tunnels
would be very handy,
for miles and miles and miles underneath the Misty Mountains. The only difficulty is you might not know which way is north. When you're under a mountain, it's very difficult. You can't see the sun and you can't see the stars.
Is there any plants that I can put into hot water and it will point north?
No.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
You mean get a compass?
Do they have compasses?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have.
Oh, okay.
Compasses. Yeah.
Just buy a freaking compass.
You buy a freaking compass.
I'll buy a
You're not even
compass.
here. Shut up.
But yeah, when you're traversing underground, it's very difficult. It's very easy to get disorientated and you end up going back on yourself.
Yes.
It's very difficult to know which way you're going.
There's
no sun. I mean, it's safer below ground, but it's easy
Is it
to get
safer
lost.
though? Because that's where the orcs and goblins are.
Okay, well, there's less chance of you getting frostbite.
I mean, is it just worth us bedding down underground at night, and then travelling on top?
Yeah, it's very tricky to decide what you want to do, because you have the snow and you have the blizzards and you have the freezing temperatures, or you have the pitch blackness and the threat of being jumped by orcs underneath.
Yeah.
You might be happy because I can cover both.
You can cover both. What are you about?
You'll see when I talk to you.
Okay. No, thank you for your information.
Okay, so that's the advice. But yeah, feel free to talk to anybody or speak to anybody and ask what the Misty Mountains is really like. But don't misunderstand that you will not always be in the Misty Mountains. You've got the Mirkwood to navigate afterwards, and that's completely opposite.
I'm going to see if there's any books on that I can read next.
It's completely opposite.
Do you know anything about the Mirkwood?
That's where the Sylvan live.
Do you know anything else about that?
It used to be called Greenwood the Great about 1,000 years ago, and he remembers when he used to live there, that it was a beautifully large forest, huge. I mean, they say it's huge now. It's like the size of a small country, but it used to be the size of a continent back then.
So, have you visited it then?
About 1,000 years ago. Used to.
Was there anything there plant-wise that was handy to know?
Numerous, but in recent times, in the last 100 years, the Witch King of Agmar.
Where have I heard that one from?
He's moved back into his fortress. Dark magic has spread out across and almost all of Mirkwood, at least as far south and as far north as the road through Mirkwood. And now giant spiders occupy almost every inch of Mirkwood.
Ah, right.
Yay!
So, Mirkwood, bad place. Hills, bad place. Mountains, bad place.
Everywhere is a bad place.
Looking good so far. But no, thank you. I will go to the librarian and see if he has any books on the forest.
Okay.
And animals in that forest.
No worries. Zellie.
Yes. I've been studying.
You've been studying, yes. You've got your spell lists. Well done, yes.
Yes. And I can, if I were, I get these lists and stuff, I can learn any of them.
Sorry?
Because you know how you were able to give astrologer ones?
No, that was a base astrologer. That wasn't the only astrologer spell list.
Yeah. And then there's other jobs, in the sense.
Oh, yes, there's
that could potentially look into as well.
Oh God, yes. Well, let me just. He says he gets another book out and he has a look at his list of only in the realms of spellcasting. He looks only in the realm of spellcasting, but he digs through and he says he makes a few suggestions.
Okay.
Oh, I was in the wrong category, but here we go. So I was still in the 1 to 10 beginners guide. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, there is spell lists for a seer, for an astrologer, an enchanter, an arms masterer, vision guard, star law, some base lists. Beastmaster, Charlatan, Dream Traveller, Dreamweaver, Fortune Teller, Hermit, a Hurrier, a Mariner, Oracle, Physician, Portage, Sage.
A Mariner?
Yeah,
underwater person?
A mariner, like a sailor, a mariner,
okay.
not a mariner. So. Hermit, yeah, there's. Let's see what else. Oh, this might be interesting. Let's have a look. A dabbler, an illusionist, maybe a monk, mystic, sorcerer, evil channeler.
Wait, is this just all the magic people?
Or
is this just general jobs that people?
No, these are just spell lists.
Oh,
these are actually books on spell casting, and in each book there's probably about 10 spell lists.
There's like a monk spell list. What?
Oh yeah, it's quite fascinating.
There's also warriors.
There is. There's
I can't think what it's called. I've seen these lists before. I remember looking through these ones. I told you,
I haven't.
I've read a few other things as well. I was trying to read up on stuff.
Is that what, like, you were talking with Wispa that one day? But that's all I know.
No.
Oh, it was a different day. Okay.
Let's take a look.
Numerous. It's just numerous.
So... Oh, there is numerous tombs, and he what I call tombs. They're giant books, and he has copies of every single one of them. So he starts crying.
Yeah, zellie.
And of course, so a monk base list, and again a monk. So he goes over and he says, "Oh, the monk." So he pulls out a one. It says monk spell casting tier 5. It's got like a big letter V on the side of it in gold, and he says, "Ah, of course, balancing ways." And he says, "Oh yes, contortions, meditative sleep, self-keeping, concentration, water lungs, water breathing, body shape shifting, face shape shifting, glamours."
Whoa! Shapeshift. What is this? Anyway.
Dodging, speed, swing, flip, haste, speed, dodge, dodging true. Oh, that's
And does a lot of this stuff can overlap with other jobs, or is it like...
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Some do overlap, obviously. Mastery of missile, adrenaline focus. Oh, there's the lion's heart as well. There's a great many spell lists for these advanced professions. And for each new profession, there's approximately between 6 to 8 spell lists. Night vision, side vision, scent, water vision, fog vision, touch, dark vision, true sense, disillusion, wood sight, long vision, illusionist sight, stone sight, monk's vision. Then he slams the book shut and says, "Well, that's for monks."
Yeah, right. That's just monks. No, continue.
No, that's pretty much it. Yes, and then obviously you're into the dark matters then with like necromancy and sorcerer and black channeling and stuff like that, and all the weird and wonderful like evil stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But you haven't decided on that though. You've decided to do astrology and animist.
Yeah. Yeah. Zellie going, yeah.
Okay. So, and again, as for as we discussed earlier about professions of the non-spellcasting type.
Yeah.
Assassin, berserker, conman, crafter, academic, cat purse, detective, diplomat, explorer, guardian, highwayman, martial artist, mercenary.
What does academic do?
Academic.
Is it what I think it is?
An academic?
Yeah.
Exactly that. Sailor. Shaman, spy, wanderer, weapon master, and witch doctor. So there you go.
Oh, witch doctor.
Witch doctor?
Yeah.
Witch doctor?
Witch doctor.
So the realm, your potential is that you can go off and learn to be an astrologer, or you can learn to be an animist, or you can do whatever you want to be able to do.
Wow.
But everybody has to start at the beginning, and the beginning is for you, an animist.
Right.
Okay, he suggests that you have acquired the knowledge to know what you're supposed to be able to do. You're supposed to be doing. He recommends that you go and do your research and ask your questions and prepare for what you need to prepare for.
So, is there like any other books you recommend I should be reading for this trip?
Ooh, wow.
If there was any, I should Because I'm aware that Theo's got some reading he's catching up on, so I'm wondering.
There is the plan is that you will follow the river to its source. You will traverse into the mountains. However you decide to cross the mountains and on what route is entirely up to you. You may wish to go below ground or above ground. Each have their advantages, each have their disadvantages. It will not be easy being able to go over the mountains or through the mountains because of the sub-zero temperatures, the promise of frostbite for anybody, sheer exhaustion, hunger, cold. But if you survive that, you will have a long journey across the open wasteland between the edge of the Misty Mountains and the western edge of Mirkwood. You will cross the ford of the Great River Anduin, which is the great river that splits Middle-earth, and you will travel into Mirkwood. Mirkwood was a beautiful place once called Greenwood the Great, but about 100 or so years ago, a dark shadow has been cast across it by one of the Nazgul, the Witch King of Agamar, the leader of the Nazgul. He's moved back into his evil dark fortress of Dol Guldur. Elrond, Galadriel and Gandalf did fight him there. It was a treacherous and really dangerous place to be in. The Witch King fled from Dol Guldur. Galadriel, Elrond and Gandalf working together did suppress him and drive him out of Dol Guldur, but they could not repair the damage he had done to Dol Guldur and to Mirkwood or Greenwood the Great. And giant arachnids have spun their silken threads across much of southern Mirkwood.
Oh, southern. Okay.
Northern Mirkwood still belongs to the realm of the Elven Kings, and there is a place there called the Hall of the Elven Kings, which is basically it's a series of huge hills that have been carved out, a bit like domes. From the outside they look like just normal pieces of land, but underneath, in the roots of the trees which have been grown and carved, they are elegant and beautifully fashioned woods of chambers. Thousands of elves live under there. They have underground springs and they have workshop, and they have staircases that go carved into the inside of a tree, because they base their entire community around camouflage. And they can go from their elven halls up the inside of a tree into the treetops, and then jump from one tree to the next and get pretty far across Mirkwood without their feet touching the ground. You're to get there basically and say to the Elven King, let him know about what's happening with this mission that's going to get this thing destroyed. But should it fail, then he has to amount his troops and all of his resources, start producing armor and weapons and all the rest of it, and be on the ready to march upon command. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
But it's a really dangerous journey, and Elrond realizes that you are not prepared for anything like that. So he's going to give you training, and Legolas is going to give you training in archery.
All right.
Okay. And Elrond has provided you with 2 substantial spellcast lists.
Okay.
To try and get you through this. After that, who knows where the journey will take you.
How would I spell the king's name in the Mirkwood again? I just want to write it down so I know.
1 second.
Legolas is from there, isn't he?
Legolas is from there, yes. Legolas he's called Thranduil. Thranduil.
Thranduil.
Duil.
Okay, thank you.
He's an exceptional warrior.
All right.
Mostly Sylvan elves.
Okay.
So some Sindar do live there, because obviously the elves live for like hundreds of thousands of years, and some of them have married into Sylvan families. Some Sindars have married into Sylvan families, so there is Sindars there as well. But it's mostly, the majority of it, 90% of it, Sylvan, which is the wood elves. They base themselves on camouflage and being invisible.
Oh, okay.
They move silently, they move in the trees, and they can run up and down branches as fast as you can run across the ground. Okay, you're in the library.
So I want to ask the librarian about animals that may live in the forest, and if there's any books about the forest.
Oh my god, okay, the Mirkwood, Greenwood the Great, everything that they've got predates the Dark Shadow.
So they don't know what's changed in there since. Oh my god.
They just have rumours. Since the Dark Shadow since the Witch King of Bagmar moved into Uldul Guldur and started like casting evil, real powerful magic, dark magic.
Okay.
Across Mirkwood, the communications between the Sylvan and the Sindar of Rivendell has been disrupted.
Right. Well, I've been mentioned. The gardener has mentioned that there are big spiders that live in that area
big
now.
Arachnids, yeah. They're about 6 to 8 feet across.
Any information you can give on avoiding detection on them, or being, any poisons they have, or anything, something that would help us keep away from them or kill them if it needs to be. Do I cut the legs off? Do I go for the head?
Yeah, just kill
information.
them. Just kill them. Don't let them bite you. They can move incredibly fast. Your first priority is to avoid the webs. What they do is the spiders of Mirkwood. What they do is they tend to work in packs. They chase down their victims and make them panic and run into webs. Once they've got them into webs, then it's up to the spider's leisure to finish you off.
How good are their senses? Like, can they see us for
No, they can't see very well. They can't see very well, but they react to vibration and sound.
So if we were running and then stood still, would they detect us because of our heart being pumped in? Or will they not?
They might, but it wouldn't be easy for them to do that. They listen to things being dropped or things hitting against you, like your scabbard or something like that, or your feet hitting the floor, or you falling over, or that kind of thing. I would say what they do is they hunt in packs and they chase you into webs. They don't chase you down to kill you, they chase you into webs. Once they've got you in a web, that's it, they've done their job. They can come back and finish you off later.
Yep. So the webs are very hard to get out of, are they?
Yeah, they don't exert an awful lot of energy. What they do is they
make
can
you deal
communicate.
with
They can communicate with each other. The arachnids can communicate with each other. So if one of them detects you, it will send out a clicking sound which will notify all the other spiders in the area, and they'll just head straight for that area. They don't hunt on their own.
Is there a way to disable the clicking noise, or is there a way to make your own clicking noise, say, in a different location so they all ran to it? Has it ever been tested or
I don't think
done?
it's been tested. I think it's a case of like, oh, there's a dirty cryptic spider in front of me, it's 8 foot tall.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What sort of time of day is it at the moment? What time are we?
It's coming up to just by about lunchtime.
Okay.
You've gone through the meetings phase, you've gone through the introduction, you've now you've got this opportunity for today to do your study and ask your questions and get things sorted, and then tomorrow you will do your training, and then after that you will meet again in the breakfast room, and then you'll see off the fellowship, and then you'll be getting yourself together to go off on your little journey.
I want to ask the librarian if he knows any other books that I should be reading now.
He tells you that there's no amount of reading. If you read every book in this library, there's no guarantee of success.
No, but any information of helping will be a success.
Alright.
If I have information on, like, reading through the book, the moss, I have information on something that may help me survive a little bit longer.
If you come across a yellow moss, a very bright yellow moss, it means you'll be able to pull it off the wall and chew it without killing yourself.
Yeah, but I won't starve of starvation or
well, no,
nutrients,
you will still be incredibly hungry. It's just you'll be able to get through another day before facing deterioration. There's various books, but a lot of them just keep repeating themselves.
Okay. Do you know then anywhere that I can get? I mean, what's the land like between here and the mountains? I need like maps and
like foothills.
Foothills. So is it still? Was it like what we've travelled through already, or?
There is between Rivendell and the Misty Mountains. There's open farmland.
Okay.
Yes, open farmland where Rivendell farms, mostly sheep.
I have one more.
And then it goes into the foothills. When it goes into the foothills, then you're pretty much becoming a rambler until you hit the mountains.
Okay, I have one more thing to ask then. I understand there are great eagles that live on the mountain.
Yes, big ones.
Do you have any books that may give me information on how to either speak or greet or welcome? Because I know certain animals, have certain ways of greeting them. You don't just run up to them and go, "Hi!"
Not with a great eagle. No. The biggest eagle that they have documented is the King of Eagles, which has a wingspan of 180 feet.
Okay.
And can pick up 2 horses.
Did you have anything on that would, any way to approach it if it was approaching you, any way to stay still? I mean, I understand they don't bother you, but if this situation comes when I'm there in front of it...
Nobody's documented anything about trying to communicate with an eagle.
Damn, okay.
They've been seen from afar, but he says, I do have one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes over to a cabinet, and it's a cabinet with with a very shallow drawer in it, and he pulls the drawer open, and there's various drawers in this cabinet, and there's an eagle feather in it. The eagle feather is 6 foot long and 1 foot wide.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't want to be carrying that with me, though.
Yeah?
6 foot long, that's pretty tall.
That's the feather.
Yeah. Okay, so where'd you get that from? Is it...
Oh, it was found by a traveller who came, it was venturing in the Misty Mountains.
Okay, do we have any knowledge of this venture? Does he have any knowledge of anything? Is he around, or...?
No, he came down from the mountains. Not sure what he was doing, but I think he was doing some mining or prospecting or something like that. He came down from the mountains and he found it and he brought it down and he thought he would just leave it here.
And he's not a resident here. He doesn't reside here.
He's not a resident. No, he last headed back into the mountains, but that was about 70 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, what race was he? If you don't mind asking.
He was an Umli.
Oh, okay.
Half dwarf.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I understand they speak Dwarvish.
They speak Dwarvish, yeah. They mix well with other dwarves. What they are is the dwarves obviously mine the mountains and do supply trains and caravans and things like that. They supply these. There's a lot of prospectors like looking for gold and stuff like that in the mountains.
Yes. And
settlements are set up, and the humans have done the same kind of thing. So occasionally the humans and the dwarves have partnered up, and these nomadic Ulmi, which are half dwarves, have sprung up in the mountains, but they don't come down from the mountains very often.
Okay.
They come down on occasion, but they don't come down very often. They come down just to trade, and they trade in furs. That's wolf pelts, mammoth, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yes, but the worst things in the mountains, apart from the eagles, because the eagles will leave you alone unless you deliberately go try to attack one.
Yeah, well, I don't plan on attacking them. It's whether maybe I can get their assistance of any need.
The eagles will either assist you or they just will leave you.
Which is kind of why I was asking if there was a way of approaching, or if there was a way. If they did approach me, do I bow my head?
I would show them the greatest respect, the eagles.
Good. But so what was the other ones?
I was going to say anything with a wingspan of 180 feet, I would, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anything with less than that, I would, hope to show some respect to an animal.
180 foot wingspan. And their claws...
Talons.
Their talons are like elephant's feet. They are massive.
And the wolves aside up there?
Yeah, the snow wolves and moon wolves. Snow wolves are very much like any normal generic wolf, except they tend to have a white pelt on them, and they are almost camouflaged in the rocky, mountainous regions and the snow regions because they blend in extremely well.
Okay.
They have yellow gold eye, like yellow, almost golden coloured eyes.
Okay. Is there anything that would keep the wolves away from us?
Fire?
They're not a big fan of fire, then?
No.
That's it. Okay.
They don't like fire.
Do they hunt during the day or night?
They hunt, but they don't hunt people. They hunt rabbits and hares and things like that.
So they wouldn't hunt us?
No.
Would they attack us?
Only if they're provoked and if they're in packs.
Okay.
Think of a very large snow fox.
Yep.
Coming, just moseying around a settlement and then buggering off again.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Okay. The moon wolves are almost twice the size of a moon wolf. Yeah, is almost twice the size of a snow wolf, and they will attack a traveller or a party, basically through a survival instinct. What they'll do is they'll just attack and kill anything that moves.
How do we tell those two a difference?
They have a pelt, which it's the same as Arwen's coat. When it's dry, it's a blue silver, and when it's wet, it turns into a black silver.
Okay, so when pelts change colour.
Yes, they're kind of like an iridescent fur. They go from a blue silver to a black silver, depending on how wet they are.
Okay, thank you. I will leave you again, and I will go sit in the garden. No, actually, I will. Do you know anyone I should be talking to? Did you have any idea who I might?
Nope.
Have to talk to get some more information to prepare for this journey.
I would say if you've learned everything you possibly learned, then I would probably say that you might want to get something to eat, rest, and probably
That's my tummy.
Yeah, grab a bath or something like that, you know.
Are you trying to say a sting?
No, I'm just saying. Zellie!
Yeah. I'm still in the room.
You're still in the room. You've been talking to Elrond, and Elrond's just enlightened you with the much bigger scope of what happens in Middle-earth on a daily basis.
Right, and then about like the place we're going to a little bit.
Yes, you learned a bit more about the place that you're going to, or what you'll be travelling through, all the way through to the halls of...
Has he replied yet on like what other books he recommends me reading? Because I know that Theo has some books he's reading.
There is some books, but a lot of the books start repeating themselves. A lot of them are journals. The Misty Mountains is a very undocumented area. They know of the animals that inhabit it. They know about the Goblin Gate and about the tunnels that go underneath the mountains. There's various ones that tell you what kind of mosses, mushrooms, and plants and all the rest of it will grow under there. But it's a place of... There's not a lot... grows, not on the mountain, obviously. In the foothills, yes, there are some things, some alpine plants that will grow there, and even under the ground, there are a few things that will grow there. But without daylight, you're not going to get anything substantial. There's occasional trees. There's a lot of pine trees and things like that, which will grow on the mountain. But in the higher regions, nothing will grow at all. Okay, so I'm saying just picture 6 foot of snow, complete whiteout. -20 temperatures, and is dark as hell.
I'm guessing the knowledge of Theo is gonna cross with me, and we.
Yes, pretty much. What you find out, Theo will find out, and that sort of thing. Yes, there is outposts and there is settlements, but some of them haven't been inhabited for a long time. There is mines as well. Dwarves have been mining the area. There is stores and stuff like that, and there is nomadic tribes. We're not talking about 20 or 30 people, maybe 1 or 2. And what they do is they set snares or set traps, and then when they capture the animal, they'll come back 2 or 3 weeks later and then skin it, and then either use the fur or take the fur to a trading post or to somewhere where they can sell it. They do occasionally come down from the mountains, but they come down from the mountains just once every like 4 or 5 years, and it's literally just to sell what they've got. The biggest inhabitant of the mountains is the goblins and the orcs, and the orcs will attack villagers and travellers and passers-by above ground. Goblins won't. Goblins will wait until you go below ground, and then they'll get you while you're below ground. Okay. But it isn't as freezing below ground. It's actually quite tolerable below ground. It's damp and it's dark and it's wet, but it is warmer. Above ground, you'll have the sunrise, so you'll have the sun, but it'll be windy. It will have a chill factor, and you'll have the snow and the ice and the visibility to deal with. But the orcs won't. But goblins will not attack above ground. Goblins will wait until you go below ground. Orcs will attack below and above. Okay, so it's up to you how you navigate or plan your journey over or through or under the mountains.
Right, yeah.
When you get to the other side, that's fine, because after that it's just open wasteland.
Yeah.
Straight to the edge of Mirkwood. When you get into Mirkwood has got this sickly disease that's eating away the trees, and the spiders are just spinning like silken threads across it all. And like I said to Lee, they don't attack. What they do is they scare you and you start running, and they make you run into a web. Once you run into a web, they just leave you alone and come back later on and finish you off on their own.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's the situation. That's what you got to try and get to the other side of Mirkwood, northern Mirkwood, where the Hall of the Elven Kings is at, and give him an update about what is happening, and tell him to prepare for war, to make all the preparations necessary, because the communication between the Elven Kings and Rivendell has broken down in the last 100 or so years because the Witch King of Angmar moved back into Dol Guldur and spread his evilness across Mirkwood, breaking the communication chain.